The second movie from Marvel Studios that will fill out the spot as part of the Phase 4 of the MCU is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and ever since the release of the recent trailer, fans have been coming up with crazy theories about it, and what could possibly happen and be a part of the actual plot. And today, we're going to talk about just that. We'll talk about some crazy theories that might be true. So without further ado, let's dive right in. The existence of the Ten Rings. First and foremost, we're starting with the name of the title, The Ten Rings. Throughout the Marvel comics, these pose to be one of the strongest objects on Earth, wielded by the Mandarin, the leader of the criminal organization that goes by the same name. The recent trailer showcases a scene with some kind of wristbands being wielded by someone, and fans have been speculating that these are the actual 10 rings, but used as wristbands. However, others think that these armbands actually represent only one of the 10 rings in the shape of the armbands themselves. And in this next theory coming up, we'll talk about why many fans think like that. Other magical artifacts. As we said before, not only these armbands, but other weapons, objects, and artifacts have been seen throughout the trailer, which might be magical in nature. Maybe they're used by some of the members of the organization in the form of one of the 10 rings given to those individuals by the Mandarin in order to wreak chaos in the world and destroy the peace, the ultimate goal of the organization itself. One of these artifacts seems to be the blade weaponry of the villain Razor Fist. These artifacts and weapons look very similar to the ones in the Doctor Strange movie, so maybe there's a link between them. And these suspicions lead us to the fact that a number of powerless characters could get upgrades thanks to this gear. Links to the previous Mandarin. When we first saw the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, a lot was left to be desired about the character, and the one shot of All Hail the King maybe was addressed to tease the real Mandarin and his existence, the one who'll appear in this movie. The trailer also gave us a shot of this trademark throne in a similar fashion to Trevor Slattery's Mandarin, with the 10 rings engraved behind them and all. Thanks to the number of similarities between the two, might suggest that this movie will address the previous fakes to which the audiences around the world were introduced to so far. And at this point, the movie might also show the fate of Trevor and how he, or Aldrich Killian, knew so many things about the Mandarin in the first place.
Who are you?
Links to Chinese mythology. Throughout the years, Marvel has shown that it is not shy to explore mythology, religion, and fables, and intertwining these beliefs and cultural stories into their narrative. Asgard and its existence, together with the Norse mythology, is just one example of this. In the trailer, we were able to see a number of lion-looking beasts who are actually food dogs, the known guardians in the Chinese culture, despite them spreading to other areas in the Asian culture, including Japan, Vietnam, and Thailand, amongst others. Their inclusion might suggest that the MCU could be moving into new territory in regards to its references to diverse cultures and mythology. Zheng. The trailer depicts the various relationships that are developing between the characters themselves, with the Mandarin featured as Shang-Chi's father. However, in the comics, the father of Shang-Chi is actually the man going by the name of Zheng, an ancient warrior who was once known as the famous Fu Manchu. A depiction of an ancient civilization was shown in the trailer, so with that in mind, there's a high possibility that we might see Zheng get included in the movie, in a way, perhaps, still as Shang-Chi's father before his son gets adopted by the Ten Rings organization. In the comics, Zheng has actually a range of magical abilities which would explain Shang-Chi's own powers. Family feud. In the trailer, there looks to be an inclusion of Xialing, Shang-Chi's sister, and a fight featured between the two siblings, suggesting that some kind of a feud has emerged between the two, with a high possibility of that feud being Shang-Chi leaving home and the consequential separation. This feud might also be linked to the death of their mother, who was teased during the trailer thanks to a small shrine, pointing out her death to have some kind of an impact in the plot of the movie itself. Well, if your father is the Mandarin, there's definitely going to be some conflict in the family. However, we're still in the blank as to which side will Xialing fall to, her father's or Shang-Chi's.
I trained you to the most.
A deadly contest. In the trailer, we can see many villains being brought together who all seem to be competing in some kind of a tournament, a deadly contest between two of them. Rumors have been spreading from way back that multiple characters from across the MCU could be participating in this challenge to death, with the winner possibly getting a magical artifact. One of the past characters from the MCU who could appear in the movie is Baron Mordo, who has been suggested as one of the competitors of the challenge. This narrative setup also explains the likes of Razor Fist's involvement, as well as the reason why Shang-Chi would have to be brought back in the midst of things after the 10-year absence.
It's time for you to take your place.
Iron Fist crossover. Whenever the martial arts side of things is questioned, many Marvel fans will draw connections to the master of martial arts and the character of Iron Fist. And with the version of Danny Rand appearing in the Marvel Universe previously thanks to the Netflix series, the crossover possibility is definitely there. We think that this is highly unlikely, but demonstrated powers in the trailer look awfully similar to the ones of Iron Fist. So we would not rule him out just yet. Also, having the character of Colleen Wing, the daughter of the dragon, appear in the movie would certainly create a scene that many MCU fans would watch on repeat. Death Dealer's identity. One of the characters who is heavily featured in the trailer is the villain known as the Death Dealer. There's not much known about the character, mainly because of his limited history in the comics too, so the character could really be hiding something worth the wait. Especially since the identity of the person under the mask is still unknown. One of the theories is that the character might be a female, his sister maybe, or even his mother, who never died at all. This or the fact that he may not be that relevant, but rather serving as someone who's never unmasked, but still playing a vital part of the Ten Rings organization.
You really are.
An ancient being. As we mentioned before, there are multiple shots in the trailer suggesting that they are from an ancient time. While yes, the Shang-Chi is set during modern day and it's not out of the picture that we will see flashbacks from the bygone era, this might also say something more about the Mandarin, perhaps his age. Because in the comics, the Mandarin is an ancient being, and that could also be the case here in the MCU. It may be that the scene of the younger warrior in the trailer might actually be the villain himself, in his early days of his life before him being taken and preserved by the Ten Rings, and him now having more than 1,000 years under his belt and leading the Ten Rings organization himself.
We make a good team!
On a related note, tell us down in the comments below which of these theories sound the craziest to you and why. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.